This video will be for the product of CenterPoint Accounting, and the feature is budgeting. The subject is copying actual or previous budget information into your current budget. The budget I am currently working on is a 2022 budget, and I've just gotten done completing the month of July in 2021. So I don't have all of 2021 into actual information yet, but I want to take and I want to copy into the 2022 budget all of my general and administrative expenses that have occurred so far in 2021. And I might make some adjustments to them afterwards. I might increase them or decrease them by a percentage. But for right now, I just want to copy that information over from 2021. Now then, for the months of August through the end of the year in December, I'll just go ahead and manually enter in values. But for the other periods, I want to go ahead and copy that information. So I could go ahead and highlight the first line of my general administrative expenses, but it doesn't really matter because when I go to edit and then go to copy to budget, it's going to make me filter for the accounts that I want to copy. Okay, when copying into a budget, you can select that you either want to copy actual information, which is what we're going to do, or you could copy from another budget. If you choose to copy from another budget, then you're going to be asked to select which budget you want to copy from. I don't have a previous budget to copy from, so I'm not going to copy from budget. I'm going to copy from actual. Now, where is the data that I want to copy? It is in the periods of January of 2021. So let me go to January of 2021, sorry about that. And it's through the period of July of 2021. So I'm just going to copy those months. Now, what accounts do I want to copy? I can click on the lookup of accounts and it's going to give me all of my accounts down below here. If I wanted to, this is showing the account abbreviation and the name. I could actually right click over here, go to add remove columns, and instead of account abbreviation, I could have it show my account number there. Okay, so now I'm just seeing the account number. Some of these don't have an account number on them. But it still would be hard to find all of my general administrative expenses by scrolling through this list and moving them over to the right. So up here at the top, we have some filtering options. So I'm going to click on that plus sign, open up filtering, and I'm going to select to filter for those accounts that are in the account category of general and administrative expenses. So there they're all there. I'm going to move them over to the right-hand side. And then I'm going to go ahead and click OK. So I've selected the accounts that I want to copy. Now, those accounts might have had some profit center information on them. Okay, if you're taking and tracking your revenue and expenses to specific profit centers, it might have had some profit center information on it. So do I want to copy all of the profit center information, or am I looking to just copy certain profit center information? If this was a budget that was just for like biking and equipment service, for example, if I was doing separate budgets for each profit center, I might be selecting just one profit center. Now, my budget happens to contain data for all of my profit centers in it, so I'm going to say that I want all of them. Now, I could either move them all over to the right, and then what it would do is it would exclude anything that didn't have a profit center on it, or I could say, I could just click OK by leaving them all over to on the left-hand side, and it's going to copy everything, whether it had a profit center or it's going to copy it with its profit center. The same thing with locations and projects. If I wanted the data that I'm going to copy to have been allocated to a specific location, like the corporate, like let's say I'm doing a corporate budget, you know, I could be doing budgets for each individual location. So I could be saying, I just want to copy over the expenses from the Illinois store, for example. I could select it and then it would only copy those things that were from the Illinois store. I happen to want to grab it all, so I'm going to leave it at all. I'm going to do the same thing for projects. I want everything that was allocated to any particular project. But it is possible, like I said before, that you might be doing a budget that's for a specific project. So maybe you want to only pull those expenses that were allocated to that project. Okay, so I'm going to leave the rest of these at all. I'm not looking for any specific profit center, any specific location or project on those transactions. I just want everything that went to these accounts. Okay, so on the left-hand side, it's all about selecting what it is that you want to copy and how those transactions had been allocated to like different things like profit centers and locations and projects. Okay, on the right-hand side, it's what do you want to do? Where do you want to put that information in this budget? And do you want to make modifications to it in this budget? Okay, so I copied from January of 2021. I want those first values to go into January of 2022. Therefore, if it had been February of 2021, it would go into February of 2022. Okay, if there was existing data in these cells, so say I had manually entered in some data into these cells already, do I want to replace it or do I want to add to the data? Now, probably I'd want to be adding to the data. If I specifically had typed information into those cells, I maybe definitely want that information. So I might be adding to it. In this case, I'm just going to choose replace because I don't have anything in there anyway. Here's where you get to select, no matter what property you have the regular budget set as, you can choose whether or not you want this data to come over as journal entry offset to cash or open entry. I'm going to choose journal entry offset to cash, and then I'm going to choose the bank account that I want that to offset. Okay, again, you could choose whichever option you want with that. You know, usually you would do it to whatever property you have your budget set at. Now, how do I want to handle the profit center information on those transactions? These transactions had profit centers on them. So do I want to copy over the same profit center? Do I want to assign a specific value? So if I wanted all of that to go to one specific profit center, I could choose that profit center. And now it doesn't matter what profit center it was in 2021, it's going to get assigned a specific profit center for 2022. I'm going to say let's copy the profit center. The third option would be to say, maybe I'm not doing profit center data in my budget. Maybe I'm only putting together a whole entity budget and I really don't care what profit center it was. I could say, don't copy it. Okay, I'm going to say, let's go ahead and copy it. If that data had locations on it, what do you want to do with it in this particular budget? Do you want to copy that location information, assign a specific value, or not copy it at all? I'm going to go ahead and choose to copy it. Okay, since I'm not budgeting to the project level, instead of copying the project information, I'm going to say to just leave it blank. Okay, and then if I were using these other fields, tracking number 1 and tracking number 2, I could choose whether or not I wanted to copy those as well. I'm going to say let's not copy that information. I'm only budgeting to the profit center and location level in this budget. So I'm going to go ahead and after I've made all of my selections there, I'm going to just go ahead and click OK here. And it's going to copy that information over. When it's done, it's going to reposition itself back to the top of the budget. And I'll scroll back down here and show you what happens. So it's repositioned us at the top of the budget again here. So I'm going to scroll down to the expenses and you can see for all of the expenses under general administrative, now some of them didn't have any values in them. That just means there was no actual data in them as well. It copied over the information through the month of July. Now I can continue to just manually enter in data for the following months, or maybe I want to take that information from my 2020 actual information. So I could go back to copy and then copy that information from 2020 through the end of the year. Okay, for each one of these, I'm just going to go to one of these values and go to edit and current cell. You'll see here that it copied each and every transaction that was from actual information in the prior year. And I'm going to right click on here and go to add remove columns, and I'm going to add a column for the profit center and the location. Okay, and you can see here that it not only copied the amounts, but it copied the profit center information and the location information that had been previously entered into those actual transactions. So if you're doing that kind of budgeting where you're going down to that level of detail, I wanted to show you how you can get it to copy that information from your prior data.